No, I was just saying thank you very much. We appreciate it.
Thank you for your comments. Moving on, Charlotte Town.
Hello, can you hear me okay?
We can, thank you.
Okay, thank you. So first of all, thank you for giving us this opportunity to speak to you. I appreciate that a lot. So my question is that, you know, we look at a lot of the conversation that's being generated around a lot of these issues, and a lot of the things that I'm hearing, especially from Rob, is that, you know, that the city of Selah is not engaging in any sort of like discriminatory or racist policies, and that, you know, Donald Wayman's comments were his and his alone, and that, you know, he has the right to that, which I agree. Absolutely, we have the right to free speech. However, I would like to know how the city justifies then carrying that out and turning that into policy, which we can clearly see. As you know, during the COVID-19 pandemic, the masking mandate is actually a law, whereas the issue surrounding chalk around this city is a little bit murkier, to the point where the city is actually trying to clarify those laws, right? So my question is how do you justify, you know, attacking one issue and not the other, to the point where you are actually pressure washing art with kids still sitting on them, which, you know, which by the way is extremely dangerous, to operate a pressure washer around teenagers. Yet, you know, nothing on the masks whatsoever. I find it hard to believe that this city is being governed by the rule of law and not an ideologically driven administration. And I'd like to know how you intend to correct that.
Rob, would you like to answer the chalk laws that we have, the graffiti laws that have been in the books forever?
Sure. So
I mean, I would like to hear from you, not Rob. I would like to hear from you,
okay.
not the city attorney.
Okay. Well, as far as the city is concerned, any riding on public property is prohibited. People can ride on their own driveways, put signs in their yards, but anything on public property is prohibited. We don't go searching for it. You will see, and I have been in the car with Mr. Wayman, and he will go out and clean graffiti off of signs. When we see it, we clean it.
Okay.
And that's
so
our
then, okay, if that's your policy, then how do you then justify ignoring the mask mandate, which is also law? Because it seems pretty clear to me, and according to Mr. Wayman's statements that he made at a recent rally for, I believe it was Lauren Culp, the governor candidate, that he's not going to enforce that mandate. He actually said that. So again, how do you justify this? How do you square up the fact that this is, you know, clearly being ideologically driven and not being handled as the rule of law?
My proclamation says that we will not force our police department to enforce those laws from the governor. Am I understanding you right as your question?
My question is, how do you justify picking and choosing which laws you're going to enforce and then trying to claim that this is not ideologically driven?
Well, I'm not sure how to answer that. I think that.
Oh, I know.
Pardon me?
I said, I know.
You know what?
Oh, I have no doubt that you don't know how to answer that.
I don't know how to answer that. I think you're talking about apples and oranges here.
I'm talking about the law, ma'am.
You're talking about the law of wearing a mask.
I'm talking about that you seem to say that there are two different laws here, that one is that you're selectively enforcing to the point where you are pressure washing the streets while people are still sitting there, and the other you're completely ignoring.
We are not ignoring it. That we have a lot of citizens who wear them. That is their personal choice.
It isn't a personal choice, though, ma'am. It's the law.
It has. That is a yeah. I can answer that for you. That is the governor's law that was put out there.
Sir, I can tell you with regard to the governor's proclamation.
Sorry, ma'am. Not sir, ma'am. Thank you.
Okay, ma'am. I can tell you with regard to the governor's proclamations in regard to the Wuhan virus, that the mayor's position is articulated in a proclamation. That proclamation was backed by a unanimous vote to the city council. What that proclamation does is not declare the governor's proclamations null and void, but rather says the city of Selah will not put attention to trying to enforce it for the governor. By contrast, when you make comments about the chalk issue, your question has built into it a false premise. Your question presumes that the city is being selective and enforcing the chalk issue only against some and not others. And I can tell you that's factually incorrect.
Thank you, Rob.
Charlotte's time has ended if you'd like to call on the next citizen.
Okay, thank you.